Hi, I'm Dr. Pankaj Rawal from Impactful Interviews. Today we are going to talk about common interview mistakes. There are some common interview mistakes which candidates make if they are not prepared well. In interview process, there are two things. Number one, you have to make positive points by saying all the right things, by doing all the positive things. And number two, you have to avoid negative points by not doing any mistakes. So here we are going to talk about 9 common mistakes which candidates make. Common mistake number 1, trusting your instincts and not preparing well. Many times candidates, if they have good command over the language, if they have good communication skills, if they have great confidence, they think that interview process is only an exchange of views or maybe telling about themselves. But interview process is a complex process where they are being evaluated by the interviewer on many aspects. If the candidates do not know about these aspects and they do not prepare for their evaluation on these aspects, the chances are that they will fail this assessment. So suggestion is that you should understand the interview process, understand about the evaluation process, and then accordingly prepare for it. And do not trust only your command over the language or communication skills for clearing the interview. And the second common mistake which candidates make is trying to finish it off fast. Everybody is anxious during the interview process. And this anxiety, some of the candidates, they just want to move away, get away from that situation because it is an uncomfortable situation. Please think this as an opportunity. Please think of it as an opportunity where you can actually tell the interviewer about yourself, where you can convince the interviewer about your strengths, where you can tell the interviewer that how suitable you are for the job. So the second suggestion is do not try to run away. Sit there calmly and focus on the interview. The third mistake, common mistake which candidates make is answering interview questions before comprehending them fully. This is common if the candidate has prepared himself or herself. The candidate expects a question, and when the interviewer starts saying this question, the candidate already assumes about the question, and before the question is finished, they start answering that question. So the suggestion is first listen to the question fully, be a good listener, and then comprehend the question fully, because many a times there are certain minor things which are asked in the question, and if you are not listening properly, you will miss those small things. So listen carefully the question, comprehend it, take your time, take few seconds to structure the answer in your mind and then answer. Because if you answer it without structuring properly, then your answer will not be in a proper manner. The fourth common mistake which candidates make is sharing too much of personal details. Some candidates do it deliberately because they try to influence the panel or they try to influence the interviewer by their family background and sometimes by dropping the names. This is totally no. This is a very common mistake which candidates make. So do not drop names during the interview. Do not tell about your personal life too much to the interviewer to influence him or her. The next mistake candidates make is unprofessional behavior during the interview process. During the interview process, because the interviewer is sitting there for a long time and they are taking interview for maybe a number of candidates, sometimes to break the monotony, the interviewer gets candid or the interviewer gets casual. Sometimes they start cracking jokes. Now the candidates sitting on the other side, sometimes they also start behaving casually and they also start cracking jokes. Now this is not done. because the prerogative is of the interviewer. The candidate is not supposed to suddenly start behaving casually or start cracking jokes. The candidate is supposed to sit there in a professional manner. The next common mistakes candidates make is telling negative things about their ex-bosses or their organizations. Sometimes the interviewer deliberately prompts the candidate to ask or maybe pokes the candidate to say something about his ex-boss. Sometimes the candidate starts saying negative things about their bosses. This is complete no-no. Even if you have negative feelings or negative emotions about your previous organizations, do not bring that emotion or feelings in the interview. You may say that you had some difference of opinions, or you may say that you did not like the environment, but do not bring in your emotions or do not bring in your negative feelings about your previous organization or any of the bosses. This is a very avoidable common mistake, so avoid this at any cost. Do not bring in the negative. Next common mistake. Some of the candidates, they put their phones vibrational mode. Now whenever there is a vibration, although the phone is not ringing, but they start looking at their phones, the phone gets their attention and it creates a disruption in the interview process. So the next suggestion is put your phones on switched off or maybe leave it outside, but do not bring it in on vibrational mode. It will definitely attract some attention. The next common mistakes candidates make is one of my very close relative also made during a very important interview, which is not knowing about the organization in detail. So if you are going in for an interview and you do not know about that organization in detail, then you might have some trouble, you might have some problem during the interview process. Giving you the story of my close relative, he went for this very important interview and the interviewer started asking him about his company. My relative, he had some idea about the company which he could speak of, but when the interviewer started asking in detail about the products, about the services, about the competition, this person could not answer the questions. So the suggestion is that for any organization, if you are going for an interview, read in detail about that. Go to their site, read about their products, read about their services, read about their customers, who are their customers, to whom this organization is serving, and who are their competitors. Read about it in detail. Another common interview mistake is candidates come there and sit there without any energy. They do not show enthusiasm or excitement or confidence. It sometimes feels that they are there just to complete a process. There's no enthusiasm, there's no excitement about the job or job role. So suggestion here is that when you are entering that interview process, bring in your enthusiasm, bring in your excitement, bring in your confidence and show it, display it that you have some excitement about the job. You want to join that organization, show your excitement, show your enthusiasm. So if there is no enthusiasm, if there is a lack of energy, the interviewer is not impressed. So bring in your enthusiasm, bring in your energy for that interview. These were some of the common interview mistakes which candidates make, and we wish that at least you will not be making these mistakes now. Thank you so much. All the best.